All right, folks, buckle up. It's 2025, and you know what that means. The chaos of the Trump era is still echoing. This time, it's Trump versus Harvard. And honestly, who among us hasn't fantasized about telling a Harvard man where he can shove his Latin diploma? The Trump administration, in all its infinite wisdom, decided Harvard needed some fixing. Their demands? Oh, just a few casual things. Change how you hire people, admit students, and what you teach. You know, light stuff. The reason? They claimed Harvard wasn't doing enough to combat anti-Semitism on campus. Now, anti-Semitism is a real issue, and it's always worth addressing. But let's be real, this felt a tad convenient coming right after some students dared to protest. You know, war and human rights. Suddenly, the White House was very concerned about Jewish students feeling safe. Shocking, I know. Harvard, to its credit, basically told Trump to stuff it. They weren't about to let the government dictate their curriculum or their hiring practices. Can you imagine a world where Trump gets to decide what's taught at Harvard? It'd be like letting a raccoon loose in a library. Chaotic, destructive, and probably involving a lot of suspicious stains. Harvard's president, Alan Garber, a man who probably owns more tweed jackets than I do swear words, and that's saying something, said, "Harvard will not surrender its independence or its constitutional rights." Boom, mic drop. Professor David Armitage went even further, calling Trump's actions groundless and vengeful, aimed at silencing free speech. Harvard knew this wasn't just about anti-Semitism. This was about control. This was Trump trying to silence dissent, to punish an institution that dared to challenge him. And Harvard, bless their elitist little hearts, wasn't having it. Now, Trump, being the mature negotiator he is, decided to hit Harvard where it hurts, their wallet. He froze $2.2 billion in grants and $60 million in contracts. Ouch. That's gotta sting, right? Well, not really. See, Harvard's swimming in cash. They have a $53 billion endowment. That's billion with a B. To put that in perspective, that's more money than some small countries. So, yeah, they'll be fine. But Trump wasn't done. Oh no, he went full Bond villain and threatened to revoke Harvard's tax-exempt status. That would cost them millions each year. Why? Because according to Trump, Harvard was a political entity. The irony, of course, is thicker than a bowl of Harvard Yard clam chowder. This from the guy who used his own foundation like a personal piggy bank? Please. This whole debacle wasn't just about Trump and Harvard. It was a microcosm of the larger culture wars playing out across America. On one side, you have institutions like Harvard, seen by some as bastions of liberalism and elitism. On the other, you have Trump and his supporters, who view these institutions with suspicion, accusing them of being out of touch and hostile to conservative values. Public opinion polls at the time showed a decline in confidence in higher education, especially among Republicans. Some people genuinely believe universities are indoctrination centers for the liberal elite, which, frankly, is hilarious if you've ever actually met a college professor. These are not people who could agree on the color of the sky, let alone a unified political agenda. The Trump-Harvard showdown was a stark reminder that the battle for the soul of America was far from over. It was a battle being fought not just in the halls of Congress, but also in the classrooms of our universities. And it was a battle that was likely to continue long after Trump himself faded from the headlines.